What's going on, true believers? Chris Mack coming at you with another fancy schmancy action figure review. Today we are going over the Marvel Legends Xemnu Build-A-Figure Wave Supervillains Red Skull. And I'm really happy to finally have this figure. At first, I did not want nothing to do with it. But then I'm like, you know what? I really do need a Red Skull in my collection that is not movie-based. And that's why I'm glad this one was released. Speaking of, if you guys want to pick this up, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and see if they have one in stock. If not, at the time of this recording, it is available on Big Bad Toy Store and Dorkside Toys. So as I just mentioned a moment ago, Supervillains, Red Skull, see the Xemnu there. And then I'm a little disappointed that they didn't give a Hydra logo or anything up there. That's kind of missed opportunity. Whatever, come around to the side. This is an awesome piece. I love him holding the cosmic cube like that. Again, I wish I knew who the artists were that were doing these boxes, because it just really enhances the whole experience for me, in my personal opinion. Come around to the back, same product shot. Read up, pause it so you guys can read it. Same thing with the Build-A-Figure Wave figures, so if you want to build Xemnu, which I have no idea who this guy is, so please enlighten me down in the comments. Come around this way, same awesome shot. Nothing on the bottom. So with that said, let's get a closer look at the Red Skull. And here's the Red Skull out of his packaging, and as you can see, once you get him out and see a full 360, he is a relatively impressive character. I think what initially turned me off was the overall green, but the more I thought about it, you know, Hydra green and then Germany and all that stuff made more sense, and I was like, you know what? I need a Red Skull to put up against my Captain America, and I'm glad I got this one because, again, as I said, I don't want a movie one because I'm not big on movie figures. I want more comic accurate, and this guy definitely shows it, and I'm just gushing at this point. So let's go ahead and get past the gushing, get him off the spinner, and let's see everything that this Red Skull figure has to offer. Now, the way that I understand it, the first appearance of the Red Skull was Captain America #1 from March 1941. The only difference there, though, is that was the first appearance of a Red Skull called George Maxson. The one that we all kind of know in modern times that this figure is designed after was Johann Schmidt. And his first appearance was at Captain America Comics #7 from October of 1941. So it gets a little confusing because, you know, comics. But from what I understand is there's stories that later down the road established that the Red Skull, which this one was Johann Schmidt, and the Red Skull appearing before, that was Johann's pawn, George Maxson. So that's kind of how the lovely world of comics work. Now, in terms of like his story and history, it gets a little convoluted, as we just saw. So it's really hard to keep up with the Red Skull, in my opinion. If y'all have any great reads, let me know down in the comments. The one that I will say that was in Elseworlds that I really enjoyed and kind of made him a cool character, not character, but villain, and then just to see his ass handed to him by Wolverine was the 2008 Old Man Logan arc written by Mark Millar. I think that was the best one, or Mark Millar, however you want to say it. So, to the extent of my knowledge, that's all I know about Red Skull, and I'm hoping to learn more. Let me know some good reads down in the comments. Now, for the accessories for this figure, he does come with another skull. Like, he comes with the grinning one, but he also comes with a more serious-looking head, which I prefer. I think this one looks great. The one thing I do wish is you can kind of see that they put a little bit of black washing into old skull head here, but I wish they would have done some more just to accent a lot of where all the craters are. You can kind of see them. The blue eyes on both figures look good. Same thing with the teeth. It doesn't run off into the mouth, off into the skin. I'm okay with that. Thankfully, it does not. So good stuff there. Love the split down the skull there. Glad that the blue eyes just look just like on the other one. Very consistent, very nicely sculpted. Now he does come with a pair of green punching hands, which I'm going to assume are gloves, because I highly doubt that he would have green skin, you know what I mean? So he comes with a plethora of hands, which is pretty cool, because at least these all serve a purpose. So we got the punching hands, and then we get The trigger hands, and again, great stuff, you know, the sculpting on the veins. So good stuff there. The gun fits perfectly into that hand. And then, these gripping hands, great for choking, and also work great with the next accessory I'm going to talk about, which is the Cosmic Cube. I wish they kind of maybe would put a little bit of detail into it. It, you know, it looks a little blasé. But what's exciting about it is you take gripping hand. Look at that. That is craftsmanship. He can actually hold the Cosmic Cube without it going ping, pang, pang, and then disappearing into the ether of the floor and the nooks and crannies. But damn, those two together look awesome. So I'm very thankful for all the hands that he gets and that they are actual functioning. You know, sometimes you'll get hands with characters and you're like, well, where's the accessories for them? And then again, this mini machine gun gun is epic. I love this. The silencer on there, I think that's a silencer. Good stuff there. All the detail in the gun work. I kind of wish the handle would have been black and this would have been gunmetal gray, but whatever. You get a nice clean deco of the Hydra logo. Very nicely done. Only one side, but I mean, look at the attention to detail on this gun. They didn't have to do this, and yet they did, and it looks great. Gives it that more, as I talk about in the After Darks, very much that verisimilitude, the appearance of truth. So, and you know, realism, not truth. You know what I mean? Anyway, good gun there. That's all his accessories. Let's talk about the figure himself. Excuse me, a little too much soda this morning. So as I was just talking about with the head, same really nice done blue eyes. They don't have that. I screwed with that instead of the focus. This is what happens when you're not paying attention. But the blue eyes look good. Teeth look nice. I don't know. I think the skull's really well done. I think that I wish there was, as I said, more blackwash, but whatever. And what I hated on this figure initially was all the grain. I thought that was going to irritate the nice shinola out of me, but it does not. There we go. You can see the green better now. Same with the belt. Kind of has that more, you know, jackboot look about it. The armband, the Hydra logo, very cleanly done. No splotching on the yellow or anything, so very well done there. The boots, I kind of wish looked a little more militaristic instead of just like cowboy boots or boots that you'd see on almost every character. It'd be kind of neat to start seeing, like, you know, some actual jack boot straps and whatnot. But overall, you know, the rope belt here, very nicely done. Kind of a simplistic figure to a degree, but the body mold, I really like that. It allows you to move him around, which we will get into next. But for the paint apps, I am super satisfied. Now for the articulation, I'm very, very pleased. So the first thing that I want to show you that I really am thankful for on this is, we'll start with the head. And then, you know, focus. So he does have the normal dumbbell, so, you know, down that much, back that much. But what I'm liking is, if you see the movement in the neck, you get a little bit of extra shifting there. So it helps him look up a little bit more and down a little bit more. And then, of course, you get a little bit more play in the head, which is very welcoming and very awesome. Sorry, I had to think of a word. I was like, what are words? I don't know what words are. 360 on the arm. Can go up that much. Of course, like that as well. Double jointed elbows. And again, like I always tell you guys, warm your figures up. When I first pulled him out of the packaging, all his joints were super stiff. Now, speaking of joints, one thing that I do find kind of weird on this character is, okay, he does go full 90 degrees, essentially, which is awesome. But look at the spacing in the elbow. That looks so unnatural. But, you know, what are you going to do? I'm glad that we get the movement, but this looks weird. The gap needs to be covered with something. So even though you get that full range, that's the only probably frustrating thing. Hand goes 360, up, down, goes there. Need to focus here. Ab goes down about that much and about that much back. Legs almost all the way out. And he does suffer from the butt flap, so you can't really go out without going to the side. I hate these butt flaps. I wish they would do something about that. That is irritating. But he does swing out that forward, and he can go all the way back with his knee. And just like with the elbow, look at this. Looks like he blew out a joint or something, and it makes my knee scream a little bit. So just seeing these two parts open up like that, it's going to look unnatural if you're trying to do any type of photography, but of course, if you're creative, you can work around it. Just odd. Just a very odd choice. It does have the upper thigh cut, boot cut at the boot, which I'm thankful for. Foot that way, and of course, ankle pivots. And as you can see, he's still a little stiff in the feet. I'm going to have to warm him up again because that was kind of a pain in the butt. So he's super bendy, which I'm thankful for. Some of the weirdness, it just kind of makes me think, crap, I'm going to have to really think about how I'm going to work around that when I'm doing a pose and whatnot. But I'm thankful for that extra layer of articulation nonetheless, especially, forgot to say upper bicep cup swivel. So yeah, great stuff, not bad articulation. Here's Red Skull up against the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure Wave Ultron and the Walmart exclusive Black Widow. And when you put these characters together, they look absolutely stunning. We will eventually go over both of these figures, but I just wanted to throw them up here because they just look so great when you get them under light, especially the shininess from Ultron. Just awesome. But anyway, going back to scaling, I'm glad that at least in the Marvel Legends line, like each line that Hasbro releases, I'm glad that they pay attention to scaling. So with Marvel, you know, they usually make the females a little bit smaller, and then Red Skull here is a regular human being. Ultron's a robot, so it makes sense for him to be a little bit bigger and in charge. So I'm not going to have any types of problems doing any type of photography or posing. Same with y'all. If you're just the type that puts them on the shelf, they're going to scale absolutely well. And you want to do any type of battle scenes, it's going to look so tasty. And I love to see pictures of your displays on our social media pages. So hit us up there and let me know what you guys think of these figures down in the comments. This Red Skull is a great figure. I'm glad that I finally decided to just, shut myself up and order it, because now I have a comic accurate version, one to go against my comic accurate version Captain America. Because again, I'm not anti-movie figures, but it's just not what I collect. So just to be able to get tangible pieces that jump off the comic pages for me, that's when I get super excited. And if you're like me, this figure is for you. The articulation is good, even though when you bend them, it does look a little weird. Love all the accessories, especially that little cosmic cube. That thing is epic. So yeah, guys, you're going to get a lot of cool stuff out of this figure. The last kind of thing I do sort of wish they would have put a little more black wash or black dry painting on the skull just to bring out some of the other features. But for what it is, at its price point, you are going to have an awesome time with this figure. So with that said, if you have enjoyed this figure, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and see if they have one in stock. If not, then you can check out the routes that we talked about at the beginning of the review. And if you have enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you can possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little skull bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with y'all and hearing your feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, photo slideshow coming up next, and thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.